A study conducted at Duke University found that habits account for up to 40% of our behaviors at any given day. Think about it. Daily activities such as what time you go to bed, what you do after work, what foods you eat, whether or not you exercise, and even how often you talk to your friends, are in large part determined by habits and routines. Your habits essentially define your current state and much of what your future will hold. When you think about habits this way, it's easy to see that creating positive habits today will pay dividends over time. So stay tuned as I walk you through 10 habits you can start forming now that will benefit you for the rest of your life. Create a morning ritual. Mornings can be rough, especially if you don't think of yourself as a morning person. But having a morning ritual can set up your entire day for success. And no, your ritual can't be setting 6 alarms 15 minutes apart or hitting snooze 5 times before scrambling out of bed and racing to prepare for the day. When you first wake up, your mind is often racing with everything that needs to happen that day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed immediately, and morning routines can help mitigate that feeling. If you have a routine, you already know how your mornings will go, leaving you feeling more prepared to take on the rest of the day. It also increases your productivity since you have specific tasks to complete. It might be as simple as making the bed or preparing breakfast, or as elaborate as spending an extra hour on your side hustle before you head off to your primary job. Feeling productive at the start of your day will help you keep the momentum for the rest of your day, increasing your overall productivity. All these morning routine benefits lead to a fantastic feeling. Less stress. Stress can often be induced when you feel you don't have enough time to complete your tasks. But when you have a routine, you know that you have the time you need to start your day right and achieve the day's goals. Learn to single task. Don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to keep your head down for hours on end until you feel like your eyeballs will fall out of their sockets. But I am challenging you to focus for finite periods on single tasks. Also known as time blocking, this method for time management can feel freeing while increasing productivity. Multitasking is touted as a desirable skill that somehow allows you to juggle multiple tasks at once, completing everything on time and correctly. But a study focused on students found that interruptions lasting as few as 3 seconds result in double the errors when returning to the task. So let me ask you this. How many browser tabs do you have open right now? Or while you're at work? How many seconds do you think you're being pulled away from the task at hand? I'm willing to bet it's more than 3. It might feel productive to check your emails or inter-office chat constantly, but it's lengthening the time it will take to finish a task and drastically increasing the risk for mistakes. Instead, try working for 20 or 30 minutes entirely focused on a single task. Then take a 5-minute break. Or make a to-do list with your top 3 priorities and work diligently on them one at a time. Get clear about your priorities. What are your priorities? Do you want to climb the corporate ladder at your company, travel the world, have children, own a home, start your own business? Whatever they are, establishing your priorities will help you create the path you want to travel to achieve your goals. It's easy to get bogged down in the everyday grind of life, and even easier to lose track of your priorities. Take the time to think about your priorities and then write them down. It's also important to realize that you can't work on all your priorities at once. Imagine how overwhelming it would be to start a business, get married, buy a house, learn a new language, and find meaningful volunteer work simultaneously. Choose 2 priorities to focus on at a time. Similar to my suggestion to shy away from multitasking, this is no different. It's vital to know what's important to you, but it's even more important to have a strategic approach. Think about the steps you'll need to reach your goals and create an action plan to follow through. Before you know it, you'll find yourself knocking out priority after priority instead of aimlessly wandering through life. Exercise. You didn't think I'd skip this one, did you? Regular physical activity is one of the most important things you can do for your well-being and health. Not only does it help to manage weight, but it reduces the risk of disease later in life. The CDC estimates that more than 100,000 deaths each year could be prevented if adults over the age of 40 increase their daily exercise by just 10 minutes. That's a staggering statistic. And if it's difficult to imagine yourself as an elder, consider the short-term benefits. Reduced feelings of anxiety and stress are commonly associated with regular exercise. Physical activity activates chemicals in the brain that leaves you feeling relaxed and happier, and may help you feel better about yourself or your appearance if you struggle with self-esteem. Read more. Most articles you'll find online these days have a too long didn't read section. They may also carry a projected read time along with the headline. These are markers of a society that has lost its attention span. Many people don't have or want to spend the time to read short to medium form content online. So it's no wonder that reading is on the decline. But reading provides several benefits. For starters, it improves writing skills, vocabulary, and reading skills. It also improves memory. You need to recall character or location names, plot points, dates, and events when reading a novel. And when you form new memories, your brain is hard at work creating or reinforcing neural pathways. Reading also adds to your general knowledge base. News articles, self-help books, how-to guides, biographies, historical novels, and more all serve to increase your knowledge and understanding of a person, place, or thing. Reading longer content will also increase your ability to focus and concentrate. Remember those short attention spans I referenced a few moments ago? Reading for 20 or 30 minutes at a time puts you miles ahead of the pack when it comes to your attention span. And before we get into point number 5, I'm going to take this opportunity to remind you to hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. It really does help the channel. Adopt a mindset of continual learning. Speaking of learning while reading, let's talk about education. Many think that they're done once they've graduated, whether it's high school, college, or an advanced degree. No need to put in the work to learn about new things, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Consider the practice of medicine or law. After years of costly education and grueling work, you would think lawyers and medical professionals have completed their education and can just start raking in the money. But it couldn't be further from the truth. New technologies and advancements in medicine necessitate continued learning. Life is no different. Parenting requires new skills, jobs require new skills, and career advancement or change involves learning. Do you see where I'm going with this? Any change you want to make in life requires learning. Don't limit yourself by thinking you know all you need to know. Practice minimalism. When confronted with the notion of minimalism, many assume it requires divesting yourself of all your earthly possessions. But that's not necessarily what minimalism looks like in practice. The mindset goes back much further than Marie Kondo, with roots in Buddhism and Catholicism. Monks and nuns lived extremely minimalistic lifestyles, owning just a few things they needed to survive. But at its core, minimalism is a lifestyle that teaches you to question if items add value to your life. If it doesn't, it's clutter and should disappear. When you think about it this way, minimalism is more about making space for your priorities and getting out of your own way. Start with decluttering. Maybe it's a drawer or closet overflowing with junk, or a phone with thousands of unread emails and 19 apps pushing you notifications. And if you're looking for financial minimalism, consider your spending habits. Before making a purchase, ask yourself if you have space for it and if you'll use it often. If either answer is no, consider skipping it. Practice gratitude. Many of us tend to be negative when we think about our lives. We consider the things we want but don't yet have, jobs we would love, places we haven't been, relationships we wish we had, or physical attributes we just know would improve our lives. But studies have found that focusing on gratitude is far more powerful than the have-nots. In a study involving 2 groups, each was given different directions. One wrote down the things they were grateful for over the last week, and the second group wrote about irritations or displeasing events. After 10 weeks of this exercise, those who focused on gratitude reported feeling more optimistic and better about their lives. As a bonus, they exercised more and had fewer health concerns than those who focused on the negative aspects of their life. Being grateful can improve relationships with others, but more importantly, yourself. Practice gratitude by thanking someone for their impact on your life, or keep a gratitude journal where you write down 1 or more things you are grateful for each day. Establish and foster positive social connections. Similar to the concept of gratitude, surrounding yourself with positive social interactions carries far more benefit than negative ones. So work to foster the positive social connections you have. Friends who are supportive, empathetic, and upbeat will fill you with the same positivity, making you feel loved, wanted, and generally happier. Of course, your friends might go through their own struggles where they find it difficult to share in the joy, and that's okay. But if you have a friend constantly dragging you down, acting jealous, spiteful, or just plain mean, you should consider cutting that person from your life. Prioritize self-care. Self-care isn't just about spa days and vacations. It's about knowing your own needs and creating time and space to fulfill them. If you're feeling overwhelmed at work or home, learn to say no when you need to. Have boundaries so you can separate working time from personal time. If you're feeling lonely, schedule some time with a loved one. If you feel tired, prioritize sleep instead of Netflix binges. If you're stressed at home, maybe cleaning up your space will help you feel better. If you're religious, dedicating time to your religious group or personal study can reinvigorate your relationship with religion and yourself. Self-care can even be doing nothing, especially if you're feeling burned out. The key is to listen to your mind and body and treat it with the same kindness and respect you provide to others. That does it for today's list. What habit will you start establishing today that you'll reap the rewards of for decades to come? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button. Be well, and I'll see you in the next video.